Forex.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich.
All right. Hello, everybody. So let me know how it sounds with, these are earbuds. It's not going to be as good as my mic, but it seems like my Blue Yeti is possibly dead. Turns on, but the computer doesn't detect it at all. So we're going to try this for now, and we'll see. Let me know what you guys think as soon as I pop up. Is it too quiet? Is it okay? Sounds good. Bitcoin's taking quite the dump here, along with pullback in the market. Okay, so everybody's good? Feel okay about it? I don't think I can fix it anyway, even if you guys don't like it. All right, so we'll do about 30 minutes. I know I don't have a camera. I tried putting the camera on, but I have an issue with my eye for some reason, and you need this like bright light to shine on your face so you guys can see my face, and it really hurts my eye. So I'm just doing no camera again today. At least I sort of have a microphone. Obviously today is not my day, but hopefully everybody out there is having a better day than me. I was having a good day actually. Actually, I was having a really great day until about 30 minutes ago. So everything was going great. Okay, so I guess we'll just do the normal spiel. We'll go up to the weekly chart. I also think I have an ear infection. So there's something weird is going on with me for sure. Oh, look at Bitcoin just falling off a cliff here. That was quite the disappointment from Trump, huh, guys? But it was a nice take profit, 8,700. Really good take profit, right above all of this right there. Just wake up and roll over after Trump. Yeah, so, but if the market can reverse, Bitcoin should kind of follow it. But right now it looks really weak. I'm getting distracted. All right, back to the S&P weekly chart. Yeah, so I think that, you know what, I don't even have it's not the right S&P. Second. I want my lines. Where are my lines? Load my lines. Yes, there. There we go. Okay. So, on a weekly, we did indeed break down from this uptrending RSI. This is not pretty. This weekly is pure crap. I would be concerned if I was looking at only momentum. However, we have a couple other things that we've been looking at. And one of those big things is the support here, right below the 200-day moving average. We have this uptrending parallel channel that is providing massive support. I am concerned that this is a bear flag developing. This basically looks like a bear flag. It's not a perfect bear flag, but kind of looks like a bear flag. Just like that. This could just, kind of rally up here a bit, and then we just fall off a cliff and do something like this, right? Boop, boop. And boop. And then boom, we go right down to 5,000. And there's your dump right below August 2024 area. So that is a concern of mine, and that's something everyone should be aware of is a real possibility. Now, why has the market not done that already? Well, first we had the the sentiment survey, right, where everyone was bearish. Everyone's still bearish, actually. This just came out on the 19th. Very, very bearish for the past month. So I don't believe the market can dump really hard when investors are this bearish. Now, crypto, on the other hand, is interesting because everyone's back to neutral already. Oops, clicked on some spam thing. Neutral. So we're already back to neutral. Yesterday was fear. Now, apparently, we're in neutral. So maybe crypto can dump, but the normal market can't. But this is a concern of mine. Now, if we look at options, so this week, goodness. So this week is major monthly OPEX, right? That's why you have so many. 100,000, 100,000, 50,000. Normally, so if we look at like next week, right? Next week would be 328, right? Yep. Look at next week on 328. It's nothing. 10,000. Just a bunch of calls, 10,000 and like 10,000 puts. That shows how much bigger this expiration is. And believe it or not, max pain is actually 580 right here. Max pain 580. So all the way up here. But right now, the market is at 5670, so 567. Basically right here. Right here. And if they want to inflict max pain, they really need to bring it up to at least 557.50. And that's something I could see happening to create max pain here. I've been talking about the Treasury General account as well, right? So that being drawn down, and we're at 450 right now. So it is still being drawn down, but it looks like it's getting refilled. So I'm not going to give that much credit to it anymore. I was also watching reverse repo, and that's kind of stagnating also. You know, between 200 billion and like 80 billion. I'm not going to give too much credit to that either. But what I am watching is the M2 global money supply. You guys have heard me talk about that a lot. So that is something that I'm watching closely. That's this thing, right? So I already made that Colin Talks Crypto, this thing, I called it after that guy. I'm sure you guys have seen him on Twitter. And finally, just recently, it started dropping again after going up, having a massive run up. It finally is pulling back a little bit. But he's saying that the most, so this guy spent an insane amount of time analyzing this, and he's saying the most accurate is somewhere around 100-day offset, implying that, whatever, so implying that whatever's happening is matching up to a 100-day offset and will happen in the future. Although this really, for me, it doesn't match up. I would think that we're here. So that would put us at, maybe 60-day offset. Nope, that was too much. 80. We'll get it right. Yeah, so a little bit more. Maybe we will get there. Yeah, so maybe something like I wanted to line up perfectly with this here. Maybe 80 was right. I feel like 78. But he was saying that 100 is the most accurate. But to me, this lines up very well, where we get a pump like this, we do a little bit more, and then we come down, we sit down here, and then finally we take off in the beginning of May. So it doesn't happen until basically end of April, beginning of May, and until then we kind of sit down here. But then we have this massive, massive rally, and that would be funny because right in it, so we rally, and then what happens right here? You get Trump tariffs, right? The Trump tariffs happen, so the market panics and crashes in the first 1 to 2 weeks. Then it sits down here, it washes everyone out, and then maybe something good comes out because of said tariffs, and the market has an excuse to rally. That's what it's kind of looking like, judging by this M2 money supply. Now, this is just one metric of many things that you could look at. But it's shown to be pretty accurate over time. I'm not saying use it as your sole indicator, but it's something that's causing me to lean bullish more than bearish, simply because they've printed a massive amount of money basically in the past. Let's look at the time. Let's look at time here. Time. Date range. In the past 2 months, they've been on a printing spree. Right, so keep in mind this is adjusted by quite a few days, so we can go back to 0, and I'll tell you when they actually started printing. So right here they started January 14th, they started printing, and they've been printing until now. And finally, they stopped, and we got a little bit of a pullback. Now, maybe it'll push higher. Who knows? Who knows where this is going to go? But we can kind of guess using this where the market might go and where we are in the cycle. That's what it looks like to me. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, I'm going to get rid of that now. Just wanted to show it again to kind of make my bullish case, and then also I made my bearish case. But it's a tough area to be an investor, honestly. Trader, not that bad. I think you can trade this. I had a nice little trade this morning. I don't think this is that helpful, so I'm not gonna talk about this that much because I don't think it's helpful to you guys. But this was a really nice day trade that I did this morning. I've been doing little like day trades where I will dedicate 1 hour in the morning to the market, and if I get a trade, okay. If I don't, I don't. Every day this week I got a trade, and I was only targeting like $200, $300 profit. Today was such like a great setup that I did like 10x that profit. Very happy with that move. So you can see we had this pullback yesterday, a bounce, and then the second pullback, but RSI and MACD were creating major divergence. That was really obvious to me. And then we were also touching the bottom of my trend line, which I know has been holding well. And I said, oh, well, okay. So this is my long opportunity, and I took a long right down here. And I wrote it up until 2.618. I took profits at 2.618, which let me extend this a little bit. Yeah, basically right up here, 5,700 aligns with the old highs. And that was my profit taking target. I also had this, so I used these fibs as well to create a kind of confluence. So you can see 78.6 was at here and 88.6 is here, and this is the area, right? As you guys know, I like to take profits in a ranging market, and this is basically a ranging market. So I took profits right up here and got like 128% return on my small option trade. So that was great. Yeah, that's how I do. That's how you can do like a little day trade. I don't recommend it for anybody that's not kind of an advanced trader, but it was just a fun little day trade, and I thought I'd show you the general setup and why I took it. It's not really rocket science in my opinion. You can even see it on 30-minute. You had a nice divergence coming in, but you had to be watching the lower time frames and be really fast. So I was watching it from basically the open, right? This was right at the open. It washed people out and then rocketed higher. Pretty easy trade in my opinion. We might be bottoming and reversing here. Actually, we might do, because as I said, they want to rally the market. So they're going to do something like this, and we're going to go up to 57.40. I could totally see that happening. Any thoughts? Any other opinions on it? Any questions about the general market in the short term? Long term, obviously we have a lot more to talk about still, but in the short term, any questions? Yes, no, maybe so. No, nobody. You guys are not very talkative today. All right. So we will go to higher time frame. Wait 1 second. Okay. Let's go back to the daily. But I think I actually mostly made my case already about where I expect the market to go and which way I'm leaning. And I am because of how afraid investors are, I'm leaning on the bullish side, even though it to be, for all intents and purposes, it looks absolutely terrible. The market looks absolutely horrible. So there's that. Okay. I said I would talk about Tesla. Let's talk about Tesla really quick. These look ugly also. Why do they look so ugly? What happened here? Tesla on a weekly chart also looks ugly, but at the same time, you have a 9 printing on the top of the mark. Usually that's quite a reversal signal. We've seen that here many times, although on the 7 it didn't work, but back here it did. back here multiple times, the weekly chart called the bottom. So you have a 9 printing. That's a major signal. You also have this daily kind of basing that's going on. And we could even take this from up here, right? And we can see we broke out on the other side. And then can even do a smaller one. And I showed this before, how we weren't on the other side of this one. Yeah, actually, it's like this. We're not on the other side of this other one just yet, but now we are. So all of this makes me lean bearish, and you can see MACD also went positive here. Or I'm sorry, that it makes me lean bullish. Sorry guys, bullish, bullish, bullish. All of those things make me lean on the bull side. That's what I'm seeing here with Tesla. I'm a net buyer of Tesla. I'm investing in it. A little bit worried about earnings here, but that's a ways away where you could get a bit of a rally, and then we could get that pullback. Keep in mind I showed that M2 chart where we should get a bit of a push higher, and then maybe we get that next pullback, and then we can move up, something like that. But that weekly, there's a TD9 on the weekly. This really is a good bottoming point. There is strong support. We filled the gap back here. There is a tiny gap down here at 150. That's it. That's your last one. And we're sitting at 78.6. This is a higher time frame chart. We're sitting at our 78.6 level here. So this is drawn from the past, basically the past year of Tesla price action. This is your buying zone, right? Right here, 78.6, all the way down to 88.6. That's your buying zone, and your stop would be here at 140. Yeah, domestic terrorism against Tesla. But Trump is on his side. Elon Musk has a whole, well, I guess the Republican side of the U.S. government on his team. So, oh, Brian, that sucks. Well, did the cameras catch it? Supposedly the cameras can see anything that's happening in the car at any time. So I'm guessing no, or they were wearing a mask. Sorry to hear that. That sucks. I think that's very disrespectful to do to anyone. But yeah, the stock, I mean, this is when you buy stocks, right? When all these bad things are happening. This is the same like with crypto, when all the exchanges were blowing up and stuff. That's kind of when you wanted to start hunting buys. So now with Tesla, you know, all this stuff is happening. You wanna be hunting buys now, and it looks good on this daily chart. Now I'm not saying go buy a ton of call options. I'm saying dollar cost average. That's all. I'm buying just stop. That's all I'm buying. I'm dollar cost averaging in. Okay, so that's it with Tesla. I know a lot of people are interested in Nvidia, so we can touch base on Nvidia. Nvidia's daily chart is not as clean as Tesla's. You do have a divergence on the daily with MACD. RSI not so much, not as obvious. We go to a weekly chart. Weekly chart still looks bad. You don't have a 9 or anything like that. It really doesn't look great here. So I'm not as bullish on Nvidia as I am on Tesla. I think Nvidia looks messy. It looks messy. It's bearish momentum wise on these higher time frame charts. I don't really have a trade here. I'm not stacking it in a big way. I think it'll follow the broader indexes. So if S&P goes up, Nasdaq goes up, you know, Nvidia obviously has to go up since it's a huge percentage of the index. But I'm not as excited about it as I am about Tesla. I think it had its big run already. Okay. Gold. You know, everybody's been talking about gold lately. See if we can load it. Okay. So gold is marching up towards my target. We're up here, 3,700. It just keeps moving up. Keeps moving up. This weekly chart, as long as it stays above this line. Bullish, 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 bullish. I don't know when you're going to get a chance to get in if you're not already, but I would wait. Anytime you see a 7, 8, 9, give it a chance to pull back a little bit. You can see it sort of does, but not really. Gold doesn't respect the TD789 as much as stocks seem to. So be careful with that. Um, but I expect it to keep marching higher. You do have a divergence here, a bearish one on RSI, which is slightly concerning. However, I don't see why gold wouldn't continue this trend up. Let's actually look at DXY quickly to see if we've got potential breakdown scenario. Oh, this is interesting. So you do have an 8 and 9, Tom the Mark, TD Mark 9 on the dollar. That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign if you want stocks to move up. Yeah, this could reverse, honestly. And if we look at this, we are tagging 61.8, or we'd want to go down to 102. That's kind of the zone where you'd want to be a buyer. But it does look like it's trying to reverse a bit here. Check lower time frames. Lower time frames, it doesn't look as good. It's encountering some resistance and pullback. But on the higher time frame, especially the weekly and the daily, it doesn't look that bad. Yeah, TD9. Oh, interesting. Conflicting signals. Oh. I would wait for this to play out before I consider any kind of like longs on gold. I would let this play out a little bit. Maybe you have to watch these lower time frames. It's pulling back. I don't like going on this low of a time frame in these live streams because anybody that watches back, it's useless. So I prefer to stay to the higher time frames and kind of give general predictions. Where would this take us? Wow, all the way to 100. 100 would be his major support, BFRN. Massive, massive support level. It's not out of the red zone yet on the daily chart. And it does seem to respect the TD8 and 9. I would be very careful here. If we've got a leg lower, it's not going to go. I don't see it going below 100. But there's the possibility of that happening. So just keep that in mind. Could be good for gold and silver. Let me look at silver really quick. Silver still in a weekly uptrend. Ugly chart though. This is not a pretty chart. Continually getting rejected by this 2.618. It's kind of just playing in this area. You can see how it kind of moves in like zones. So let me see if I can draw you a zone. Right, so this is like a zone. Box. We'll call it a box. Well, actually, just no. Say like this is a box, and now you could say that you have another box basically here, overlapping that box, and eventually you'll break out and you'll go to this next box here, which might actually end up being up here, and that's kind of how silver looks. It's hard when charts look like this. I don't like even looking at my momentum indicators because I feel like it's just noise, and they're doing this to create that massive amount of noise so that you really can't use those momentum indicators, and you kind of have to just look at a general uptrend. Like maybe we can draw a parallel channel and see if that yields anything at all. So this would make sense, right? That, I think. For this one. And that's kind of seemingly your parallel channel that we're moving up in. So if the target is 48 and it stays in that channel, you're not going to get there till 2027. Hopefully it doesn't stay in the channel. Hopefully it breaks out. Otherwise, that's going to be a long wait. This is a big channel, huge range. You can go to 36, or you can go all the way down to 29. I could do something like that. possible. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not trading these metals too much. I feel like it's easier to trade the stocks and crypto. They just move faster. Metals move kind of slow. So I don't trade them as much. It's just a very slow market. And it looks like it's turning here and rolling over. I'm not particularly excited about silver here. Do I think it's in a long-term bull trend? Yes. Um, but I don't have any good trades on this. It looks like it's currently in the process of pulling back a bit. Okay, so that's silver. Yeah, I might as well just go right to crypto. Bitcoin. Let's go to a weekly chart. Bitcoin, not happy. Not happy with how it looks on a weekly chart. It's just like the S&P. No matter how you look at this, it doesn't look good. But it's hanging in there, and on a daily, it almost broke out. Almost broke out and then got rejected. That nice potential fake out. But if the S&P can move up into this OPEX, there's no reason why, Bitcoin can't. But if it rejects, and this is a bear flag, just like the S&P looks like, I mean, you can, right? We could go all the way down to 60, 56 to 62. 72 obviously is a major level. I'm sure you guys have, if anybody follows, use Twitter much, you've probably seen all these levels. It's obvious. The 72 level is very obvious. A lot of people have talked about this. Arthur Hayes has talked about this. Oh, what is happening? My mouse is, whoa. Okay, wait 1 second. Oh, today is not my day. My mouse is suddenly not really working at all. It's What is going on? Okay, I think my mouse is basically broken. Oh, yeah, it's responding very lethargically. Like the whole computer is freezing. Okay, wait 1 second. I have another mouse. Let's see if this mouse charged. I have like 4 mouses. Okay, this mouse is not alive. It's dead. This one doesn't work. Wait, I have a third mouse. I cannot believe this. I can't find my third mouse right now. And this is a good mouse too. I'm surprised. This is a Razer mouse. Ah, close some tabs, could be load memory. I didn't even open any tab. I have barely anything open. No, you can see like this. This is my touch. This is on from my laptop. This is the touch. I'm gonna turn it off, touchpad off, and then we'll try the mouse. Now you can see like look, just not working at all. Damn, that's frustrating. I'm gonna change the battery really quick. We're gonna do that really fast. Maybe the battery's dying. Alright, I'm gonna get new batteries. I think the batteries were fine in this, but I'm gonna change it really fast. Luckily, my headphones work and are 100% charged, and you guys can hear me. Okay. This would probably be a lot more entertaining if you could see me like, flailing here. Okay, batteries. Got it right here. 1, 2. Slap the case on. Bluetooth. Okay, connecting. Trying to find my computer. Not finding the computer. Oh, nope, it's not the batteries. Well, this sucks. I don't know why it's doing this. I don't know what to do. What can we do here? Because this is, I guess I can try to use my touchpad. Very difficult. All right, so I'm just gonna do a short analysis, and then I think we're gonna have to wrap it up, just because this is not, I can't control the computer like this. Sorry, guys. It's not my day. Yeah, silver I already kind of looked at, Terry. So right now Bitcoin's still in a downtrend on a daily chart. It does look good on the MACD, a bit bullish, but until we get above this trend heuristic channel, this is like my magic channel. Until we get above this, I can't really get too bullish on Bitcoin. It's basically been bearish since beginning of February. Even worse on altcoins. We don't want to look at those. Go to a 1 hour chart. You can see a huge fall off after Trump's conference. I could see potentially one more pump right up to here to like 88 or 89K, and then we roll over. There is potential for that, but it doesn't look great here on a daily chart. I think we could potentially go lower here. It really depends on what happens with the S&P. I think if the S&P holds, then you should be fine. But I think it's a really tough area to be trading. Very, very, very tough. But you can see we came into the support. We took out a lot of stops. Do we have any divergence anywhere? We are turning on the 5-minute, all the way at the 5-minute. I don't know how useful that would be to anybody watching this back later. But we are turning. We are in like a baby uptrend, and we're just rejected by this 7, 8, and 9 on the 4-hour. I'd like to see us head up here to like 88 or even something like around 90 just to liquidate people before we roll over. But the key thing to keep in mind if you're like long-term investing is that until we get above this RSI downtrend and my trend heuristic at about 88,000 and we hold above it on a daily time frame, we are kind of bearish. We're bearish. Yeah, this mouse really doesn't work. I'm gonna turn it off. We're basically bearish. Yeah. So there's that. Altcoins are kind of just following Bitcoin. You know, I've been watching a bunch of these. They're very washed out, but you are getting, actually you're getting like weekly divergence. Look at that. So look at optimism. You've got, right, RSI is just slightly higher than the previous one, but price is way lower. Bullish weekly RSI now that we've washed everyone out. Imagine if we just shoot up from here. It can happen. The weekly, that's what you kind of have to look at with this stuff. You've got to look at the weekly. Daily, the daily is just, it's too much noise. There really is too much. So maybe more pain ahead before this finally plays out. But for now, the weekly is looking like it's putting in a bullish divergence. So that's optimism. I could apply that to a bunch. Like if we go to the others chart, maybe that's easier. We just look at others. So in others, you have an 8 or 9 on Tom DeMark. I need to adjust this actually. That it's gonna annoyingly pop up with a signal. And you can see we're kind of bouncing from that trend line. And we've got a nice 9 that's come in. This was my ABCD that I have to now lower a bit, but it still gets us basically to our target, which is just the previous highs from December 2024. Probably not what people want to see. You guys probably want to see it way higher than that, but that's what it looks like. Might not get much more than that. On a daily chart, you can see this was our original breakout, but we just kept trending lower. Get rid of this. This is supposed to be on the weekly time frame only. And then we can, you guys have no idea how uncomfortable this is, by the way, on the touchpad, like on my laptop that is very high up. So no breakout again. You can see we have two different RSIs here. We have the first stage, and now we have second stage breakout we're looking for. It's slowly starting to turn, but it's more of like a fake out. So you're gonna have to try to see the same thing with Bitcoin and the S&P. Everything should move up together, and if they don't move higher, then obviously they'll move lower or they'll do nothing. But that's what it looks like. I don't see it as a terrible area to be accumulating spot. Actually, I like this area between these two red lines. I don't see it as a bad area for spot. I would be careful with leverage here. I would kind of avoid that until we get back into a guaranteed bull market. Yeah, it looks basically the same to me, Terry. It's not like turbo bullish yet. We really need to be above this trend heuristic channel. I want to see a breakout above that, retest, and then we can move higher. For now, this is still we're just slowly bearing. We're bearing down. Just like this. That. For either of them can honestly work. Yeah, just like that. And we're just slowly moving down. We could tag again this trend heuristic, even push up above 2.9, and then potentially roll over a bit more. But we do have major support levels here from back in basically all of 2024. So it doesn't surprise me that we're rejecting from this level. But really, we're in wait and see mode. This isn't going to rally until the S&P does, and we saw the M2 money supply. April might be a wash month because of the massive tariffs that are coming in. I think it's going to affect the whole world. It's a huge, massive thing. Don't underestimate the effect of that. And then by the end, maybe everything calms down, and then that's that's when the M2 money supply printing is going to be reflected, and we should move higher. Maybe everyone's just super bearish, super scared, and then the market reverses because it turns out the data hasn't changed that much and people are still buying things and prices haven't massively increased. Something like that. That's my general longer term theory. And that's what I'm going on. I'm gonna go with don't be too bullish until this stuff kind of turns around. But understand that we are at a major support level, especially on Bitcoin and SPX500, more so SPX. I hate that I keep not picking the right one. Yeah, this one, load. Why is it not loading? Yeah, this one, go to the daily, and you can see it's just holding in there. And I could see this rally potentially up to 57, 5800, and then roll over maybe. But we're just following that M2, so maybe something quick spike up, and then roll over, and we go below the lows, and then we go back in, and then we do that. Something like that is possible. Look at the total at the RSI. Okay, so yeah, question time. I'm gonna wrap this up soon because my mouse doesn't work, and so I'm not very productive using this touchpad. It may seem like it, but I'm really not. So Terry says, look at total crypto market cap on monthly chart in log. Okay, you want me in log, and you want me on a monthly chart. Well, on this monthly, I see a bearish divergence and an uptrend that's still intact with RSI. However, MACD doesn't look great. Yeah, lower RSI. Yeah, it doesn't look great. This was your double top here, clear bearish divergence, MACD, And you kind of have the same thing here. So it's possible that, we topped out. And this shows that this is the law of large numbers coming into effect, where your percentage return on an asset gets smaller over time as the amount of dollars required to move that asset increases. And that's exactly what's happening with the crypto market. So I would expect to see RSI like this, because we're hitting the maturation stage, and we're kind of surpassed past the growth phase. Like, it's still in a growth phase, but not like it was before. I mean, look at back in 2020, you went from 100 billion to 2 trillion. That's a 20x. But here, back in 2023, the bottom, you went from basically a trillion to only 2 trillion. But a trillion is a lot of money. So you only doubled a little bit more than doubled, actually. At the top, you tripled. So you had a 3x. But from 2020 to 2021, you had a 20x. So there's the big difference. And then also, I mean, if we go back to 2015, even 2016, you look at this percentage. Right? So if you went in from the bottom here, you had it's an insane amount. I don't even know how much that is. 200x, 20,000% return. So look at these. Every cycle is going to be significantly less. So it doesn't surprise me that you would get RSI would kind of look like that. So if we go here, we should get a bunch. Yeah, so you can see you only did 2,000. You did a tenth. And then here, so every cycle it seems to really drop a lot. So this one is basically like 200%, right? You had 360. So maybe next cycle's, less than that. Eventually, whenever we get to the next cycle, you're, maybe you're here and you only do 100% or even less, because this is about a fifth of this one. So then if you do, maybe you're a third, so a third would be like 100%, something like that. And then you're at like almost 5-6 trillion, but you can see how much more money is required. For here, you went from, to double it, it's a huge amount, more than any of this other stuff. Hopefully that helps put it in perspective how crypto's matured as a market, and why I'm, to a degree, focusing more on stocks. I'm focusing on stocks that I think can grow, and less on the crypto market, because I think that the sector has really matured a lot, and I think you can do better investing in certain growth stocks. Things like Tesla. I'm looking for robotic names. So if anybody knows about any robotic companies, let me know. I'm interested. Bitcoin still looks like crap. It's not going to reverse unless the S&P reverses. GX. Probably also not looking great. Hello, Gianluca. And hello, Min. Good to see you. You guys came just in time for me to sign off, because my mouse isn't working. So we're gonna call it a day. I went for about 40 minutes or so. I'm gonna figure out why my mouse is not working. I know I didn't come out with my next report yet, by the way. I'm still working on it, and I've had to refactor a bunch of things based on my thoughts about M2 money supply and the effects long term on the market. It's on the back burner. It's just not the number one priority right now. I've got a couple other things that have kind of keep getting in the way of me finishing that report, but I will get it to you. So if you're a member of TRI, just keep your eye on my room. You get a notification when I post it. If you're not a member of TRI, please consider joining. Free trial, no cost for 30 days. You could see my posts, and then maybe you like it and you decide to stick around in the community. All right, that's my little pitch for joining TRI. Hugging Face, ask someone who works in this field about a year ago. OpenAI. Those are robotics. Those OpenAI is a just a software AI company, I thought. I'm talking about like physical robots that replace humans. You know, like Tesla is working on Optimus, and I think there's a couple of different Chinese companies working on them. You know, there's Boston Dynamic Robotics as well. Those are a couple different companies that are robotic companies. I'm not Anthropic and Hugging Face. I haven't heard of either of those. I can look them up. Maybe they are robotic companies, but I know OpenAI is just like ChatGPT, which is you know, digital AI. So that's what I think is the next big thing. Robo taxis and robots, basically. Future's looking bright, but also looking scary. All right, I'm gonna call it. I'll see you guys on the site, and be careful with trading. Very violent, you know, ranging market here. Not looking particularly bullish. So be careful, especially if Trump is talking, which unfortunately is every day. Entertaining, but also annoying if you're trying to trade these markets because you never know what he's going to say. Okay, hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.